Okay, what you're looking at here are the printouts of the drafted pattern that I've used, done using Adobe Illustrator and the menswear classic shirt generator. Now, I've actually printed these out, and what you're looking at here are the first attempts, and although they might look okay in terms of the general shape and the information that's on them, if I bend down to pick these up, you'll notice they're printed out on an A4 sheet, which obviously is a far too small and probably only fit Action Man. So what I've done, I've printed them again. These are the full-size printouts. And when we first did this, we still didn't know if it was distorted. They looked rather large. So what I did, I went back on the Illustrator file and I put a little guide. This mark here, the two black lines, 10cm line, vertical and horizontal. So when I print the pattern out, I can then measure each of those lines, and if they're 10cm, to know the pattern hasn't distorted. Now, this pattern still looks rather large, and I am concerned by this. And there's a number of reasons this could have happened. It could be that I've measured myself incorrectly. It could be that the formula that I've done on the Excel program is incorrect. It could be that there's a lot of ease on the pattern itself when I follow the instructions. Or it could be a print error. But I've eliminated the print error. I've checked myself and I'm measured correctly. The formula I've checked. So what it means, it could be a lot of ease. And this is a classic shirt block, and it could be that there's a lot of ease for loose fitting. So what I've actually done, I've actually gone back and started again drafting from the tailored menswear block and instructions. So on my blog you'll be able to download the menswear tailored generator. You'll be able to see the tailored pattern as well as the PDF, so you can download it and print it off if you want. But what it enables me to do is I'll make both of these up as a shirt, as a toile, and you'll be able to compare the two fits of the shirts based on the same measurements, which is actually quite useful. A bit of an added bonus there. Now, although this shirt looks the correct shape for a shirt, there are a few things that I'm going to point out that I am slightly concerned by. The first one being the neck. As you can see there, I did expect it to be a bit wider than that to allow it to go round the neck. That looks a bit narrow to me. So I'll keep an eye on that. The armhole, you'll notice that the back of the armhole is a lot higher than the front. That's because the natural shoulder seam isn't indicated on the back of the panel. Men's shirt seams tend to go forward, so it might be worth me marking that on when I've got the toile. And the shirt itself looks rather long, so I'm going to have a look at that. The rest of that pattern piece looks fine. Let's move this one. The sleeve, let's have a look at the sleeve. There's a lack of notches at the top, so I could put more notches on. And what's I would be concerned about is the shaping of the actual bottom bit there. It looks a bit extreme for me. I did expect it to be a bit more of a gradual curve, like an elongated or stretched out S. So I'll check that. If you go on the tailored menswear draft pattern that I've done, it's actually straight across there, so that might be looking at. I've also, what I've done differently on this than I've done on the actual instructions, I've actually straightened the seams at the side rather than curve them in. I didn't think that would be a good shape. So that's the sleeve. And then the collar. The collar was always bugging me because on the instructions I used, if you follow the tutorials, you notice that the seam allowance on the actual draft for the collar was not there. So what it meant was that there's a mix of some patterns with seam allowance and some without pattern seam allowance, and that really bugged me. So what I've done, I've gone back to the menswear generator and I've replaced that collar with a different collar, and it has seam allowance included. So now all that pattern piece, all those instructions on the menswear classic shirt generator have seam allowance included. But this will give you an idea in terms of what you're looking at achieving. And you can either have the pattern piece on the fold or you can have it as one, but this is actually the graphics, which I could send, which I could use as a print, or I could use digital embroidery. Again, the cuff, likewise. You notice if I get right up, I don't know if you can see it on this, there's no pixelations there. And you can see it fits exactly the size that you're after. That was the one that I changed on the tutorial into a vector. If I zoom right in, see if I can get it. It's all clean. If I go back, can you see the pixels? Probably, yeah, there they are. So that was a bitmap, I didn't convert that. So it depends on the quality you want or the actual image. Just bear that in mind. And I have redrafted the collar, and there it is. This is the new instructions. Again, a slight concern in the fact it goes up at the centre back, which means if you do that on the fold, it means it goes up to a point rather than straight across, just here. So I might have to keep an eye on that. This is a horrible shape. But again, once you've got the fit right across here, you can alter this and this shape to whatever style you want. And there's various different collars out there available that you might want to experiment with. So they're the pattern pieces at the moment. And my next stage is to cut this out and make it up in a fabric to see what the fit's like. And then I'll do the same with the tailored shirt, and then I'll put them both on a stand so you can compare the two. Okay, thank you.